A mean woman hurt 12-year-old Emma with a taser at the park for no reason. Emma's mom watched her little girl cry and shake with pain. The police were too slow to help. Now Emma's mom must choose: will she hurt the bad woman back, or find another way to protect her daughter? Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more Karen stories. The warm afternoon sun shone brightly over Green Valley Park. Children were running and playing everywhere. Their happy voices filled the air. My little girl Emma was playing with her friends near the playground. She was only 10 years old, with curly brown hair and the sweetest smile. I sat on a wooden bench, watching her play and feeling so grateful for this peaceful moment. Emma was shy but loved to make friends. Today she was playing catch with some kids she had just met. Her face was bright with joy as she ran around, her small hands trying to catch the colorful ball. I smiled, thinking how lucky I was to have such a beautiful daughter. But then everything changed in one terrible moment. Hey, stop that right now. A loud, angry voice cut through the happy sounds of the park. I looked up quickly and saw a woman marching toward the children. She was tall and thin, with short blonde hair and an angry face. She wore expensive clothes and carried a fancy handbag. The woman was shouting at Emma and the other kids. "You stupid children are making too much noise. This is not your personal playground." Emma stopped playing and looked scared. The other kids ran away, leaving my daughter standing alone. She looked around, confused and frightened. Her bottom lip started to shake and I could see tears forming in her eyes. I jumped up from the bench and hurried toward them. "Excuse me," I said, trying to stay calm. "These children are just playing. They're not doing anything wrong." The woman turned to me with cold, mean eyes. "Your daughter is disturbing everyone. She needs to learn some manners," she snapped. "She's just a child," I replied, putting my arm around Emma. They were playing quietly. "There's no need to shout at them." Emma pressed close to me, her small body trembling. "Mommy, I wasn't being bad, was I?" she whispered. "No, sweetheart. You were being perfect," I said softly, stroking her hair. The angry woman, who I later learned was named Rebecca Stone, laughed in a cruel way. "Perfect? She's a little brat who needs discipline." Before I could say another word, Rebecca reached into her expensive bag. To my horror, she pulled out a small black device, a taser. The sight of it made my blood run cold. "Put that away immediately," I shouted, pulling Emma behind me. My heart was beating so fast I thought it might explode. "Someone needs to teach this child a lesson," Rebecca said with a wicked smile. Her eyes looked crazy, like she wanted to hurt my baby. "Please don't," I begged. "She's just a little girl." But Rebecca didn't listen. She pushed past me and grabbed Emma's arm. "This will teach you to respect your elders," she said. "No," I screamed, but I was too late. Rebecca pressed the taser against Emma's small shoulder. The electric shock made my daughter scream in pain and fall to the ground. Her little body shook uncontrollably as tears poured down her face. "Emma, my baby." I dropped to my knees and gathered her in my arms. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe. Her whole body was shaking from fear and pain. "Mommy, it hurts," she sobbed. "Why did the lady hurt me?" I held her tight, my own tears falling on her hair. "I don't know, baby. I don't know." Rebecca stood over us, looking pleased with herself. "Maybe now she'll behave better," she said coldly. Several people had seen what happened. Some were taking videos with their phones, others were calling the police. But no one came to help us in that moment. I felt so alone and angry. "You monster," I yelled at Rebecca. "How could you hurt an innocent child?" "She deserved it," Rebecca replied, putting the taser back in her bag. "Children today have no respect." I wanted to fight her, to make her pay for what she did to Emma. But my daughter needed me. She was still shaking and crying in my arms. I had to get her away from this terrible woman. "Come on, sweetheart," I whispered to Emma. "Let's go home." I carried my daughter to the car, her tears soaking my shirt. As I drove to the hospital, she held my hand tightly. "Am I going to be okay, Mommy?" she asked in a small, scared voice. "Yes, baby. You're going to be fine. I promise," I said, though my own heart was breaking. At the hospital, the doctor checked Emma carefully. "She'll be okay," he told me. "The taser didn't cause any serious damage. But she might be scared for a while." That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She kept having nightmares about the mean lady and the taser. Every time she closed her eyes, she would start crying again. "I'm scared, Mommy," she whispered, climbing into my bed. "What if the bad lady comes back?" I held her close all night, promising her that I would never let anyone hurt her again. But inside I was filled with rage. How dare that woman hurt my innocent child? The next morning I went to the police station. Officer Martinez listened to our story and watched the videos that people had posted online. The attack on Emma had made many people angry. "We'll find this woman," Officer Martinez promised. "She can't get away with hurting a child." But I couldn't just wait for the police. Every time I looked at Emma's frightened face, I felt anger burning inside me. Rebecca Stone thought she could hurt my daughter and just walk away? I wouldn't let that happen. I spent the next few days learning everything I could about Rebecca. I found out she was a lawyer who lived in the rich part of town. She had a reputation for being mean to everyone: store workers, restaurant servers, even other parents at the park. Many people disliked her, but everyone was too scared to stand up to her. I watched her routine. Every morning she bought coffee at the same expensive cafe. She worked at a law firm downtown. In the evenings she went to the gym. She always walked alone to her car. For days I thought about what I wanted to do. I wasn't a violent person, but seeing Emma's pain had changed something inside me. Every night I listened to my daughter crying in her sleep, calling out for me to protect her. It broke my heart. 1 week after the attack I made my decision. I knew Rebecca kept her taser in her purse. She had bragged about it to the police, calling it her protection. I thought about using it on her, making her feel the same fear and pain she had caused Emma. That Thursday evening I waited outside Rebecca's gym. I knew she would come out alone around 8 p.m. My hands were shaking as I hid behind a car in the dark parking lot. I wasn't sure I could really do this, but Emma's tears gave me strength. Rebecca came out, talking loudly on her phone. She was complaining about someone at work, her voice full of anger and hate. She didn't see me as I stepped out of the shadows. "Rebecca," I called softly. She turned around, startled. When she saw me, her eyes grew wide. "You're that kid's mother?" she said. "Yes," I replied, walking closer. "The child you attacked." She clutched her purse tighter. "That was a week ago. Get over it. The kid is fine." "Fine?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You tossed my 10-year-old daughter. She has nightmares every night." Rebecca rolled her eyes. Children are too sensitive these days. A little discipline never hurt anyone. My anger exploded. I lunged forward and grabbed her purse before she could react. She screamed and tried to fight me, but I was stronger. I found the taser and pulled it out. "Give that back," Rebecca yelled, her voice echoing in the empty parking lot. I held up the taser, feeling its weight in my hand. "How does it feel, Rebecca? Knowing someone else has the power now?" For the first time I saw fear in her eyes. "You wouldn't dare," she whispered. "Why not?" I asked, stepping closer. "You didn't care about my daughter's fear. You enjoyed hurting her." Rebecca backed away, her hands shaking. "Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt her so badly." "Sorry?" I laughed, but there was no joy in it. "You're only sorry because you're scared now." I raised the taser toward her face. She fell to her knees, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Please don't," she begged. "I have a family too." "My daughter is only 10 years old," I said, my voice breaking. "She trusted the world to be safe. You took that away from her." Rebecca was sobbing now, no longer the proud, mean woman from the park. She looked small and pathetic. "I'm sorry," she kept repeating. "I'm so sorry." I stood there, holding the taser, feeling all my anger and pain. I could press the button. I could make her feel what Emma felt. But then I thought about my daughter, not the scared, crying Emma from the hospital, but the happy, innocent child who had been playing in the park just 1 week ago. If I hurt Rebecca, would that bring back Emma's innocence? Would it stop her nightmares? Or would it just create more pain in the world? Slowly I lowered the taser. "You're not worth it," I said quietly. "But you will pay for what you did." I threw the taser into a nearby trash can and walked away, leaving Rebecca crying on the ground. The police arrested Rebecca the next day. The videos from the park, along with my statement and Emma's, were enough evidence. She was charged with assault on a child. Her law firm fired her when the story became news. People in the community refused to do business with her. She lost her reputation, her job, and her place in society. But the most important thing was that Emma slowly began to heal. It took months of therapy and lots of love, but she started to smile again. She began playing with other children, though she was more careful now. She had learned that not all adults could be trusted, but she also learned that her mother would always protect her. 6 months later, Emma and I returned to the same park where everything had happened. At first, I wasn't sure if it was a good idea, but Emma had asked to go back. "I want to play there again, Mommy," she had said. "I want to make new happy memories." As we walked through the park, I felt nervous, but Emma seemed excited. She ran ahead of me, her curly hair bouncing in the sunlight. She looked so much like the happy child she used to be. We found a quiet spot under a big oak tree. Emma started playing with her favorite doll while I watched her carefully. Other children were playing nearby, and slowly, Emma began to join them. My heart filled with joy as I watched her laugh and run with new friends. "Mommy, look!" Emma called out, waving at me from the playground. "I made a new friend. Her name is Sarah." I waved back, tears of happiness in my eyes. My brave little girl was healing. She was learning to trust the world again, one day at a time. Later that afternoon, as we sat on a bench sharing ice cream, Emma looked up at me with her beautiful brown eyes. "Mommy," she said, "I'm glad you didn't hurt that mean lady." "Why, sweetheart?" I asked, surprised by her words. "Because then you would be just like her. And you're not mean. You're the best mommy in the whole world. You protect me with love, not with hurting." I hugged her tight, tears of joy running down my face. My daughter was not just surviving, she was teaching me about forgiveness and love. Even after everything she had been through, her heart was still pure and full of kindness. "You're right, baby," I whispered. "Love is always stronger than hate." Emma smiled and leaned against me. "Will you always protect me, Mommy?" "Always," I promised. "But more importantly, I'll always love you. No matter what happens." As we sat there in the park, watching the sunset paint the sky in beautiful colors, I thought about Rebecca. The news had reported that she had left town after losing everything. Her career was ruined, her reputation destroyed. She had become exactly what she deserved to be: alone, powerless, and forgotten. But Emma and I were together, and we were stronger than ever. We had faced the worst kind of evil and come out on the other side with our love intact. Emma had taught me that the greatest victory is not in getting revenge, but in choosing to heal and love despite the pain. That evening, as I tucked Emma into bed, she looked at me with sleepy eyes. "Mommy, I love you more than all the stars in the sky," she whispered. "I love you more than that," I replied, kissing her forehead. "I love you more than anything in the whole universe." Emma smiled and closed her eyes. For the first time in months, she slept peacefully through the night. No nightmares, no crying, just peaceful dreams. I sat by her bed for a long time watching her sleep. My beautiful, brave daughter had taught me the most important lesson of all, that love is the most powerful force in the world. It can heal the deepest wounds and overcome the darkest evil. Rebecca had tried to break us with her cruelty. Instead, she had made us stronger. She had shown us what we were truly made of, not hate and revenge, but love and courage. We were survivors, and that was more than enough. We were a family, and nothing could ever change that. In the end, love had won, just as it always does. As I finally went to my own bed that night, I felt a peace I hadn't experienced in months. Emma was healing, we were together, and tomorrow would bring new hope. The worst was behind us, and the future was bright with possibilities. The mean lady who had tried to hurt my daughter had lost everything, but we had gained something even more precious: the knowledge that our love for each other was unbreakable. And that was the greatest victory of all.